Hello, I am Dr. Joseph Isaac, former assistant professor of clinical psychology and writer of 4 books on psychological treatment. Out of the 4 books that I have written, 2 books had become highly controversial and have captured the minds of people, namely Stop Psychiatric Damaging and the famous Malayalam book Phranthakkunna Chikitsa, Treatment Making Insane. Throughout these books, I have challenged the dogmatic, materialistic approach in the treatment of mind and have also vehemently criticized the pseudo-diagnosis in mental health without studying the psychodynamics and intrapsychic processes of an individual and the tendency of rapid and instant stigmatizing labeling of the mentally distressed people. It is just like the astrologer who makes fortune telling, creates instant predictions about the future and fate of people. Some mental health experts, out of their psychological intolerance and lack of professional competence, jump into wrong conclusions and brand and label people as mentally ill instantly. This mental health violation has even led people into social isolation, estrangement, loneliness, ennui, lack of self-esteem, depression, and even suicide among sensitive, weak people who go for mental health consultations. Today, I am going to talk to you about a very important topic as to how the mind and its aberrations can be diagnosed, about which all of you are highly interested. The great Nobel Prize winning physicist Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, after his lifelong experiments on matter and its interaction in the universe, had unequivocally concluded, within quotes, mind is the matrix of all matter. I regard consciousness as fundamental. Matter is a derivative of consciousness. Close quotes. This is the greatest consensus about the human mind in the world of physics, in the world of psychology. Psychologists have to learn from Max Planck. If the mind is the matrix of all matter, as Max Planck upholds, and mind, which is the non-material energy force in nature, controls all the material universe, it can be categorically stated that mind is independent of all matter, especially brain matter, and mind, which gives information and knowledge about all the existence of matter, controls all the neuronal cells in the brain, all the genes, all the proteins, all the enzymes, all the amino acids, and all the labyrinth of cellular network. Mind is thus not a material object. Mind is thus not a material object that is located in a particular place in the human body, like the liver, pancreas, or lungs, or the brain, which has a specific space, position, or volume, or mass. But without mind, no empirical understanding is possible, or we cannot calculate any time or space. There is no perception or conception or mathematics to calculate space, time, or experience matter or energy in the universe. Without a mind, even the greatest scientists like Einstein cannot formulate a theory of relativity and formulate in mathematical terms his theory of relativity. Mind is a wave function, fundamental in the universe, not a product of the brain, not a creation of the brain. Mind is at the subatomic quantum level. And that's why you cannot see it. Just like gravity or electricity. You cannot see the gravity or electricity, but you can see the manifestations of electricity and its spin. Mind is governed by the laws of Schrodinger's wave mechanics, not by classical Newtonian mechanics. According to me, Erwin Schrödinger, the Nobel Prize winner physicist, who has opened the door for quantum biology by his classic book, What is Life?, is not only a great theoretical physicist who has revolutionized science, but a scientist who has introduced a psychological dimension to the world of epistemology. Schrodinger's famous thought experiment in physics, popularly known as Schrodinger's cat, had created great ripples of storm in the world of epistemological thought. And it describes the probabilistic crisis of the quantum superposition state of a physical system and how it can be resolved only by an act of psychological observation for a reality formulation as to whether a cat is alive or dead. As mind is not a material object like the liver or the brain, and since its wave function, and it is a wave function fundamental in the universe, interacting with the microscopic structure of cellular network of the brain, mind can never be diagnosed with the conventional medical tests or tools like the stethoscope, blood test, brain scan, PET scan, MRI scan, or any other histopathological immunoassays or biotechnological tests. As mind is a field of possibilities, as the mind is a field of quantum possibilities, and it is beyond time and space. Medical tests or physical tests can never detect or locate the mind in its quantum field. But it is very saddening to note that the general public at large, in spite of all scientific advancements, believe that mental disorders can be diagnosed by medical tests, by ascribing a material status to the non-material mind, by ascribing a material status to a non-material force of the mind. This is, according to me, a Himalayan blunder reinforced in our society by wrong propaganda in the name of medical science. Only ignorant, gullible people believe this nonsense. If medical tests cannot diagnose the human mind because it's a non-material wave function, then the inevitable question that pops up in one's mind is this: how does the mind function can be quantified or tested? Many people during the course of my public talks or in the midst of public discussions have asked me this question with great awe and wonder. And this is really a pertinent question. My answer to that question is, mind can only be tested by mental evaluation. By mental evaluation and not by medical means. Psychological tests made in the psychological laboratory of the psychologist are the only scientific means to diagnose a person's mental status and diagnose mental disorders. A person's mental status or psychological status is a psychological software or a conglomeration of ideas the mind calculates, and not a physical or medical evaluation. Even the honorable courts are misled to believe that mental disorders are diagnosed by medical tests, and the psychological profile presented to courts are viewed by people as medical diagnosis, though it is formulated by psychological tests in clinical psychology, the greatest science of quantum mind wave function. As there are absolutely no medical or physical tests, as there are absolutely no medical or physical tests in psychiatry to diagnose mental disorders, representing mental evaluation and falsely claiming it as medical diagnosis is misleading the public and be considered as a blatant lie. When I say psychological tests, what do I mean? I mean the standardized tests used in psychology that has reliability and validity, like tests of intellectual function, like the IQ test, the personality tests, the aptitude tests, interest rating scales, attitude scales, the projective tests to diagnose mental disorders, the thought disorders tests, and neuropsychological battery of tests designed to diagnose brain impairment or cortical atrophy and subcortical deficits of brain functions. Thank you very much.